Tokyo governor to make same-sex partnerships legal in the city starting April 2022.
Here's a summary of the article.
Tokyo Governor Yuriko Koike attends a news conference, amid the coronavirus disease outbreak, at the Foreign Correspondents Club of Japan, in Tokyo, Japan, November 24, 2020. Reuters, Issei Kato, Tokyo, December 7. Tokyo Metropolitan Government will start a system that effectively allows same-sex marriage in Japan's capital in the next fiscal year from April, Japan's Kyodo Newswire reported Tokyo Governor Yuriko Koike as saying on Tuesday. The local government for the city with a population of 14 million plans to introduce same-sex partnership after its local assembly unanimously called for such a move, Kyodo said. Some local wards in Tokyo as well as some other local municipalities have already introduced a similar plan that officially recognizes same-sex couples. Critics say LGBT couples still face disadvantages in areas such as taxation even under such partnership arrangements. A local court in Sapporo in northern Japan ruled in March that same-sex couples not being able to marry is unconstitutional, the first ruling in Japan on the legality of same-sex marriage. Register now for free unlimited access to Reuters.com.
This post received a score of 13,000, with an upvote ratio of 95%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
A poll done a few months ago had same-sex marriage support in Japan at 65% while those against it were at 22%, up from 41%, 37% in 2015. Among people in their 20s and 30s support was as high as 86% and 80% respectively.
I anticipate it's gonna be legalized in all countries as the country's younger generation takes the charge in workforce and participate in the economy. A country has to go through a lot of things before its people start to develop empathy towards people who don't look, behave, or talk like them. It's not always just rich country equals all problems solved. Edit 2. If you have only lived in one country, your opinions is not better than BLA, it's more like BLA. Some countries' laws are very tied to the majority religion. So I wouldn't expect that kind of progression in all countries. Most Middle East countries are unlikely to change significantly for generations. But a lot of East Asian countries have a good mix of religions and non-religious people. So change is more likely to happen faster.
That's where you're wrong, pal. Social change in Eastern Asian countries can be slower, and more difficult, than anywhere else. They don't base their philosophy on religion, sure. But they base many of their principles on old, traditional and backwards ways of thought including Confucianism. They live in a society where they believe the individual is not important, and where rules and power are literally based on who is older, like in kindergarten or some shit. Societies like that take a long time to develop socially. Korea, for example, great economy. But socially still in the Stone Age.
East Asian countries are slower than Western. But they are picking up the pace. They are transitioning with the generational change. They are just a few steps behind the West. They are at least actively changing. Most traditions in East Asian countries don't really conflict with progressive social issues. In fact, a lot of conservatism came from Westernization and Christianity to begin with. Obviously I'm generalizing, because it's not feasible to mention every specific country.
Didn't Switzerland legalize gay marriage a month ago and Germany did so just 4 years ago, with a similar situation for most other developed Western countries in the last decade? I don't know why people need to be so patronizing and condescending when countries in Asia, South America and other places around the world take a few more years to do the same thing. We were all pretty horrible on these issues just few decades ago. Just look at the way U.S. senators talked about gay people in Congress, and this was 6 years prior to 9/11.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.